Hey guys, welcome back to another video in our electrical series. We're going to go ahead and wrap up that talk on what makes up a basic circuit. Remember there was four things. We've already talked about what a load is, we've talked about what a power source is, and we've also talked about what a conductor is. So that means we just need to talk about the control device. Now, we're just going to talk about basic switches for now, and we're going to kind of talk about that. Remember, there is other things out there that we can use to control that circuit, but for the most part, it's going to be a switch of some sort, and we'll explain more of that as we continue along. So let's go ahead and draw a switch really fast. It's going to be like this. We're going to do a little dot, and it's going to go up, a little dot. We're going to have a dot here, and continue on. So to make a circuit, remember that electrical power needs to be able to flow all the way through. So it's going to need to go from negative to positive, or depending how you look at it, positive to negative. I'm not going to argue that right now. What happens is that has to kind of connect. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a switch to break that circuit or connect it. Now, this one, if you look at it, this thing is considered a normally open switch, because the circuit is open. Now, there is another type of switch that will actually be drawn like this, and we'll have a little dot here, and it'll go over and have a little dot here. And when this switch is flipped or pressed, it will become open. So, and this is in the shelf state is what they consider these. All components are in the shelf state when they're drawn in a schematic. So that means they have no mechanical function, or nothing's been flipped, nothing's been changed. It's directly out of the box. It's the shelf state. Okay, so this would be considered a normally closed circuit or a normally closed switch, because it's actually closed to make that circuit connect. So it's a closed circuit. So you're going to see, mostly we're going to be working with a normally open switch, where you're going to have to flip the switch to get it to connect the circuit. But I thought it'd be good to talk about a little bit more. Now, this is considered a switch. Sometimes you're going to see them drawn as a push button. Now, there's not a heck of a lot of difference other than the way it's drawn and the type of switch that's connected to it. So what we're going to have is it's going to be two lines coming up to that switch, drawn like this, and it's going to have a little, let's call it a top hat. And what happens is when you press this button down, it's going to hit these two terminals here, connecting it and letting the electricity pass through that wire. And that would be, again, considered a push button. It's a normally open right now. As soon as you pressed it, it would become closed and the electricity could pass through it. So for right now, these are the two switches that we're going to probably be seeing for a little while. We might talk a little bit more about contacts and stuff like that moving forward, but for right now, just know everything that's drawn in a schematic is going to be in the shelf state or in the de-energized state, depending on what you want to call it. This is a normally open switch. This is a normally open switch. This one would be the symbol for a push button, and this would be maybe the symbol for an actual switch, like the one on the wall in your bedroom, okay? So remember, it's just, all we're doing is we're connecting the circuit so to let the electricity pass through it. And we're cutting it off, depending on how you look at it. So that's all I got for switches or control devices. Hope that helped. Let me know if you guys have any questions.